Okay. Of mice, mayors, and councilmen, May 24th. You've been busy, by the way. You wrote that McGinn, talking about lots of our local members of the government, McGinn has a tin ear and he leads with his chin, and I was almost going to get Muhammad Ali's picture up there, but I decided not to. But that is with regard to 520 and other things. Can we expect anything out of Mayor McGinn now to actually happen, or are we just going to talk about it?
He wants to talk, he wants to debate, he does not listen. That's a rather unusual combination right there, but he challenged Microsoft's Steve Ballmer to a debate. Then he challenged the President of City Council, Richard Conlon, to a debate when Conlon was off in Greece. As we're doing this program, he has just debated with the mayor on the 520 issue. He is again,
Mayor McGinn has debated with
the governor. I'm sorry.
Oh, the governor.
Governor Gregoire. The situation is, if you have endless talk and a kind of an endless circular process, you don't get anything done. And there is not a small amount of urgency with the viaduct, which came within a few seconds of coming down in the Squally earthquake. And of course, if we ever got the big one, you would have a new Portage Bay floating bridge if we don't repair 520. In addition to the fact that the long lineups through the Arboretum, which if I have to go out to the University of Washington in the morning, I see, the bridge is not adequate to the enormous amount of use that it gets, particularly the reverse Seattle to Redmond commute that you have now. But the mayor wants to put a whole bunch of ideological stipulations on this, which are no understanding of all of life on the east side, that people live in single-family homes, and that consequently, a van pool is a very practical way of having a number of people commuting in one vehicle. Bus service less so. But he is, again, somebody wearing ideological blinders, somebody inclined to confrontation, and somebody who does not have the skill that we've seen in some of our environmental leaders here of working out society's compromises, staking a position, and then dealing.
Well, is City Council just going to basically just sit and wait for the next election?
I think City Council will roll him on the 520 decision. They darn well better. But you have had some, and you have certain members of the council. Gentle Tom Rasmussen, as the transportation chair, has turned steely over this. But then again, you've got the new council member, Mike O'Brien, whose performance on the aggressive panhandling ordinance was to oppose it, and then announced that he was going to go vote for it. Then the stranger beat his brains in, and he ended up voting against it. If you missed the movie Twister, you can get a good substitute in Council Member O'Brien. So you naturally have a kind of a need for strength, while in fact you have this squabbling, this talk, and of course the continued Byzantine divisions on the King County Council.
I want to skip over the Strange Bedfellows column, or our blog, sorry about that, and I want to go to your column where it says the Republican Party probes GOP candidates' backgrounds. And this was from June 2nd. Opposition research looking into a candidate's background is historically the job of opposing campaigns, not one's own party. This is what was said anyway. Results are leaked to the media, friends, or pliant websites, as what happened with the Democratic Senator campaign committee's recent dirt digging on Dino Rossi. Let's go to the next quote. The main desire here is that the state party not be surprised. We will examine what any citizen could find in court records. We're not going to follow anybody around. That's Luke Esser, the Washington State Republican Party chair. I have to tell you, I came out here from the southeast, where it was a very, very old state, and what the Republican Party of Washington State is doing is normal there. And I think in all of the old states, there aren't Republican candidates who aren't really well vetted first.
Mm-hmm.
So is there anything wrong with this?
I think first of all, you have the new politics of gotcha. The Democrats here have emulated something that the Republicans mastered years ago, which is, develop some dirt and then essentially give it to a friendly media outlet or website or alternative newspaper, and get it into the main bloodstream of politics. And you've had some flummoxing. Mike McGavick's DUI arrest years ago in Maryland helped torpedo a Senate campaign. They found themselves nominating a felon for state auditor in 2004. the disputes in the Irons family torpedoed a promising King County executive candidacy. So again, it's a matter of investigating ourselves, kind of trying to get ahead of things, although Esser confesses that even if they find out that there's something damaging, they haven't figured out yet what they're going to do with it.
Well, they can always take the Jesse Ventura approach, which is confess things that you didn't even do, and then if somebody wants to go and chase and see if they can find it, then, he said all sorts of things, and it didn't bother him.
At the same time, I remember the words of fun-loving Texas Congressman Charlie Wilson, the one who got the aid to the Afghan rebels. When people looked around at his gorgeous staff, his response was, "What do they expect me to be, a constipated hound dog?" But we're now coming to a point where something that you may have said or done in high school, can be used against you. And if you've ever done something dumb or taken a risk that didn't work out, or been an absolute heel in ending a relationship, that can come and bite you 25 or 30 years later and be manipulated against you.
Yeah. We were going to talk about Dino Rossi and Patty Murray, but no, we need to get to something really, really important, and it is whether or not we're going to have a clothing optional beach site right here in Seattle. And this is something that apparently Mayor McGinn's looking for. A nude beach for Seattle. Let's look to the Great Bear North. You talked about this in actually one of your columns because you said that there actually is a Great Bear Beach just north of here.
One of the interesting things about Vancouver is you see more skin up there when it's 55 than in Seattle when it's 75. And you have a renowned nude beach right there to get the winds off the Strait of Georgia called Wreck Beach. In fact, signs announcing the boundary of Wreck Beach were directly below where Bill Clinton and Boris Yeltsin held their 1993 summit. Yeltsin was too pickled to notice. Clinton was somewhat crestfallen when told that the signs had been removed. But anyway, you have bare buns runs. You have the biggest skinny dipping competition on North America, and you have a great group photo of about 500 or 600 people, not all of them beautiful by any means, posing each summer. It is a famous place with only one real rule, which is participate but do not gawk.
Well, we're coming near to the end of the show, and let's go ahead and close it out with these last two slides because they are picture after picture of someone who brought an awful lot of joy to the people in Seattle for a long, long time. Ken Griffey Jr., to me, he was more than a baseball player. He was just flat out fun.
And you have made a very important point because before Griffey, what did we have to do? Insult Cleveland Indians slugger Albert Bell when he came to town, to scream, "No, no, no," when Lou Piniella brought Bobby Ayala in from the bullpen. But with Griffey, you could see this great home runs soaring past our seats on the first base line into the right field stands.
Were you in Bellingham at all when he was just a 19-year-old player there? Because he was 19 when he played there, right?
I think he was not quite out of his teens when they brought him up.
Yeah.
And the youthful exuberance with which he played, marvelous.
Absolutely. We're going to let that be the last word. Right here on Public Exposure. Next week we will be here, and be sure to read SeattlePI.com and SeattleWeekly.com. We'll see you right here next week. Take care.